Hello and welcome. Welcome to Drakenmemoria. Well, today is Dungeons and Dragons. And don't worry, Remy will be there, although I'm not sure because he was there for 3 seconds and then everything went dark, so hopefully he's not in the middle of a power out. And it's just his computer that needed to be restarted. So, yeah. Dungeons and Dragons and live. And boy, those of you who are watching it live, did you miss something last episode? Amazing, incredible. It was like watching a football game. Funny enough, it almost was. But hey, it worked this time. Hello.
For some reason, my computer was just not wanting to do video. I just had to restart my computer.
Oh well, sometime it happens. You don't know why. You get an upset stomach. Guess it was the same thing for your computer. It had an upset motherboard.
Well, no. It still has a stomach. It's just called a stomach bug.
So long as it's not a virus. Alright, I may drink a whole lot during the night because there was cheese in my dinner and I think it was salty cheese. So, what happened last episode? Alright, I won't be too mean, You weren't there, but at least you're gonna know a little bit of what happened. So, oh yeah, if you like the Thunderstorm in the background, it's Ambiance Mixer. If you like the world map, it's Wonder Draft. If you like the town maps, it's Canvas of King. And if you like the battle map, it's Dungeon Alchemist. Yay! Alright, so, what happened last episode? The party kept on climbing the spire to reach the wizard, watching the catastrophe unfolding outside while waiting for our heroes to reach him. When our adventurers reached the wizard, they were greeted by a smug grin and voice. Flanking the wizard, new arcane construction were waiting for his commands. Cautious, the party started the fight, but after a few seconds, they threw themselves headfirst into the fray. A strategy which, surprisingly, turned out good, and brought down the wizard of the tower. Even I was a bit surprised. But I guess it's the second time that audience decides to face mortal danger face first. He is the perfect embodiment of the "don't worry, my face will block the punches." Well, it worked, and an extremely surprised wizard fell. With the last thing he saw was a dagger going right for his eyes. Fortunately, the battle still had a victim. 7 krill were no more. But Fisher became the first hero of his kind. The first, almost saint, you could say. of the construct. Helping their first god to ascend. But things are not completely finished. Now there is a huge power vacuum in the Misty Isles. And a lot of people were promised a lot of things for this to happen. But the island belongs to those living in it, not those who came from the outside. And if nothing is done, history will simply repeat itself, and eventually a new wizard will rule the tower. So, a meeting was agreed on at the bottom of the surface level. First floor. Ground level floor. That's what I was looking for. Was set as a meeting ground for everyone that wants a piece of these island chain, of this tower. And so this is where we left our adventurers, dragging Terry's giant mech through an entire floor so he could regain his magical elements and suddenly start working again, and everyone magical objects starting to work again. Now, surprisingly, you do have to go down a few floors before you reach a safe zone, but you manage to leave the sphere of influence of the bomb, and everything starts working normally again. Your object all starts re-emitting their auras, their powers. Fisher, you hear Terranad's voice once again, commenting on the last few seconds of fight. You know, telling you that you could have done more during this fight. It really felt like you weren't there. It takes a little while to go down all of those stairs. Unfortunately, you can't use the teleportation device that Civ allowed you to use, because you could use it because of him. So you have to walk down nearly 100 floor. Well, fortunately, it's easier to go down floors than to go up the floors, but it's probably the eeriest when you have to go near a place where there would have been arcane ballistas, because you are in front of a whole bunch of machines, mostly Middle East, just watching you walk down the floor, unsure about what they're supposed to do. The further you go, the more you start meeting up with friends. A lot of injuries. You see some inert bodies, but fortunately they're not utterly killed. So Coven will probably be able to bring them back to life. So bodies are dragged. And you eventually reach the first floor after meeting so many injuries, so many dead people. You see the corpse of so many villagers, guild members, and rebel groups. People with basic equipment, with some slightly magical equipment. It really feels like the first 10th floor of this tower was a complete bloodbath. When you arrive, there's already a very lively discussion happening. Everyone seems to be claiming the tower. The guilds, who claim that it is because of their preparation, of their resource, that this attempt was even possible. The rebels and revolutionary are just babbling things about them actually doing something for so long, unlike all of the others. The people, fewest in number, because they were the least equipped, yelling that no one suffered more at the end of this tower than them, and they don't even want to be part of this. They'd rather have the tower be destroyed. Sachet looks a little bit lost in front of all of this, but it looks like she's already at odds with Zal, who says very loudly that half of all the riches of this tower were promised to her as payment for helping. So, how do you interfere in all of this?
I think audience would make its way over to Zal and Sachet first, because he knows that to make anything done with the common folk, there's going to need to be at least one united voice from kind of all the higher ups. I mean, maybe not the rebels but like at least from one organized force from our group and the people to be able to get anything done. So that's where I'd go first.
Okay. They're arguing, and slowly their voices are growing louder and louder. It feels like both of them are at a point where they are starting to wonder if it will need to resort to violence. Sachet feels like this should be handled very cautiously, and the next leadership should be decided not by with who has the most right, but who will do a better job. Zal says that better job to hell. She was promised the lion's share of the pick once all this was done, and this has to be paid because it is due.
Mm-hmm. I think
Sachet.
audience.
You interfere just as Sachet is saying that she will not let pirates from the outside pick clean the remains of this simply because they want to fill their pockets.
Mm-hmm. I think audience would come forward and say, kind of voice, not trying to like invoke more, but just be like, Zal, sachet. That's enough. Look around. People are dead. People are bleeding. You are leaders of both groups. If you argue with each other here and your voices raise, this could lead to more. This could lead to be more violence. Pull yourselves together. We will discuss this in a more calm manner, but yelling out will only cause a look around and kind of eyes turning towards them, those that follow you, to be at odds.
Sachet's answer is probably closer to what you would want. She says, of course, you're right. Disorder breeds disorder. Chaos brings chaos. But we can't simply abandon all of this and come back hoping that nothing will have happened, that everything will have stayed as it is.
It will not be abandoned. We will have to decide things today, that's for sure, but we will do so in an adult way of discussion and working things out, not in yelling and coming to blows with each other. There's already been too much loss for that. I'll look at Sachet, not at Zal, I'll say, I know you want things to be better. I know you this is where we try to start that, and then I'll look over at Zal and I'll be like, Zal, you have to remember, you will get what's owed, but we are outsiders here. There's more at stake for these people than simply filling their pockets.
Zal looks at you and says, audience, maybe you forget. Me and the other leaders have put up a lot of resource for this, and you promised the lion's share of everything. You said that we could take anything we want from this tower, and that would be our payment. Many ships were lost, and more lives were lost on those ships than on the field here. You don't only owe us by contract whatever we want, you owe it through honor for those who died and for the greatest army you had who suffered the most. I don't care about their lives.
I think audience, when she said this, would... Because she's Dragonborn, and I'm Dragonborn, and the way Dragonborn culture works, I think he'd get much closer to her than he did Sachet. So we're standing, like, because Dragonborn, and he'd say, I know you're hurting too, Zal, though you don't admit it. I'm sorry for the losses of your lives, of your ships, and those people. Trust me, I did not forget my promises. You will get your rewards. But yelling and arguing with the people here, leading to more conflict, more loss of life, that is not the correct way to get what you want. And you know that too. I need you to calm down. He just looks...
Can you make a persuasion roll?
Yes, I can. That is a 36.
Well, thankfully, your aura radiates stronger than your words. Begrudgingly, you see that she wants to answer. She wants to counter your argument. But the thing is that you can recognize in her eyes that any argument she will send, you will already be expecting it because you are also Dragonborn. So she doesn't.
All right. Audiences, now that we've got that taken care of for the moment, let's first account for the dead, for the wounded, res those who can, heal those who can, and actually make this a meaning of those who are not still crying out in pain, but are willing to listen.
I guess probably the one who would react now would be...
Are the Naftons there, by the way, as well? Or are they... Because
You
I would
see
like
some.
to account for what they're doing.
You see
Okay.
some.
Do I see Tasul?
Are there enough Nathan here for him to be there? Oh, there's a lot.
I'm interested to also hear what the result of what happened between Sarn and Tasul and what they decided to do with the portal.
Well, you see a lot of Nathan, but you don't see Tasul. However, the moment that you express something about wanting to know, wondering what happened between Sarn and Tasul, you sort of hit the lucky unlucky roll. You know, a natural 20 on a roll on a situation where you couldn't get a whole lot. So you failed to find Tasul, but when you mention out loud that you are hoping, you're wondering what happened between them, someone tells you that they are both in front of the tear between worlds right now and arguing about this.
Damn it. Audience goes, and audience goes, damn it. Alright, he'll say, Sachet, he'll kind of turn, but he'll say, Sachet, find the clerics, there should be those among, Zal, find healers, pick, I need to go deal with another problem, and then I'll quickly leave to go down to the tear.
All right. What about Remy and Fisher? Do you follow audience or do you stay on this floor to make sure that nothing re-escalate into a all-out battle?
Man, I want to go down there, but also, but I think I'm gonna stay up here to make sure everybody plays nice. Not that I'm the best at.
Well, you know, you can always leave Terry here. He's going to make sure everyone stays really quiet.
Yeah, I'm not sure his violent approach to things maybe is the best solution here.
No, he might immolate someone, but, you know, after that, everyone's going to be okay. Especially since the most thematic spell he could, level 9 spell he could possibly get is Psychic Scream. If you die from Psychic Scream, your head explodes, so that's gonna be cool. Alright, so Fisher, you decide to stay here. What about you, Remy? Do you go down with audience or do you stay with Fisher?
I mean, I feel it's a really tough call, actually, because Fisher has the body to resolve any disputes. But then if he says something, it might make the situation worse.
Hey, fair, but hey.
Man, are the knives flying low today?
You're right, but it's me.
Well, you see, I don't need magical daggers to stab you in the heart.
So, your final decision is?
I'm gonna go down with audience only because
It's audience.
if there is another separate argument happening, and audience is probably better. At the very least, what's going on where Fisher is at is not subtle. Like, that's pretty straightforward. I have no idea what kind of argument. Well, I have some ideas of what argument could be happening. It's like so. At the very least, if Raimi is there, maybe he could pick apart clues and inform audience as necessary. So I'm gonna go with that.
Okay.
Oh, you know, and you know, just in case like the tear does something stupid.
Well,
Because my investigation and all of my passives have increased again.
yeah, I was surprised even for Terry. Damn, his passive perception is almost at 30. He can't see, but his passive perception is almost at 30. All right. So, Remy, you follow audience. Fisher, you remain here, and good lord, things are tense where you stay. Sichet does her best to calm the population, the people. Fortunately, she mostly has to deal with people who are hurt and scared, and not people who have great means. So, you know, in situations like this, cuddles kind of makes a really good impressions. She just shoves cuddle. She just shoves cuddle in front of all of them, and just say, "Play nice. Otherwise, he's playing with you." And then she leaves and go to the next group. And you know, you see them all. They're all there. They're staring at Cuddles, and you see some of them. Their reaction. They're trying not to blink. You know, they're just like this. Having figured out that he can't move so long as they don't blink. Zal.
All right, everyone, we gotta take shifts.
Well, also fortunately, they're not brave enough to try and attack the doll, even though 24 people are staring at it. You know, just in case someone does something stupid and walk in front of everyone, and then BAM! You get the magical hasted bear that just tears people apart. Zal tries to take on the guilds. Mostly because it feels like she's the closest to something that's similar to them. Prepared, a bit methodical about what they did, although she is dragonborn. She's a tempered, but still a dragonborn. So there's something a little bit more fiery with her than with them. Because of that, she is imposing. She's imposing everything that she has on them. Her position, her power, the fact that she still has, even though the losses are catastrophic outside. And you gather through things that are said that nearly 60% of the fleet was lost outside. Only a handful of ships were not damaged. One of the siegebreaker was lost. It was not destroyed. Those who boarded it crashed it in the ocean, and it was torn apart by the sea snake, who had promised to let people move through, but did not promise that they would not eat the dead who fell in. And they apparently interpreted the wrecked ship as a dead beast. But fortunately, you hear that the flying fish was damaged but not destroyed. So your ship is still usable. Sichet tries to take on the rebels, and that is difficult. They feel entitled to not just what's inside of the tower, the leadership it represents. They have been fighting for the longest, and that's where most of their arguments are. They seem to easily forget that many of them ended up succumbing to the mist and stop being allies to the people and simply being an organization who just wanted to get the tower and put themselves in charge, which, historically speaking, is exactly what always happened and always turned bad eventually. So, do you want to do something about this, about these conversations, or are you staying there in retreat, waiting to see if one of those conversations falls apart and needs help?
I think it seems like Sachet is having the harder time. Does that seem right?
In the sense that she's alone arguing, but it in the sense of presence, of charisma, she is the strongest one. So I rolled to see how each one was held and how violent the conflict is. Those who are the most subdued are the population. It is both a parody to watch, and also you understand them. They're all scared of a doll. That doll being Cuddle.
Mm-hmm.
Cuddles. Sorry, yeah, there's an S. Sachet is facing the most violent of the group. They all believe that they deserve the tower for everything they've done, for what they've done for the population, even though some of them have completely lost the right to claim that they did this for the population. And there's a lot of them. Many leaders, their organization worked in small cells, meaning that it's the group that has the most strong heads. But she has an incredible charisma, and she is able to put them in their place but because of the number, it feels like every time she manages to quiet one, two of them starts yelling and trying to take the place. And so the problem, she's managing it, but the problem is more argumental stamina, it feels. There's just too many of them.
I think I will walk over to Sachet and kind of pull her away a little bit. Excuse me, I need to speak with her a moment. And pull her away from them and suggest. I think it might be beneficial, at least in the short term here, to make them. It seems like they've got a lot of interior conflict of leadership. I think it might help out to make them decide who's actually in charge of them. That should hold them over for a while, I think.
Reduce the number of people talking. That's not a bad idea.
Right now, you're one person trying to stop a boat filled with many leaks, I think.
They are headstrong. That is for sure.
Let them tire themselves out arguing amongst themselves to find a common head.
And when they get tired, give them a juice box.
All right.
And if there is any checks that need to be made,
Well, if you want to talk with her.
I would like to help her in her check.
All right. Would you like to use your last luck point to help her? Can you use your last luck point to...
No.
No.
That's not how it works. It's for me. The only time I can use it.
Oh, yeah, when
somebody
someone
else
attacks
is
you
when
and-
they're attacking me. Physically attacking me.
Okay.
It's really weird because like they have quite the silver tongues because they're actually daggers.
Okay.
That's what they meant by having a sharp tongue.
Wouldn't that be a pointy tongue, or rather? Too bad you didn't hide it near your eyes, because you could have said you have daggers in your eyes.
No, you don't have daggers in your eyes. You shoot daggers at somebody else. They're basically like Cyclops' lasers.
Yeah.
Except they're not lasers.
A stream of daggers.
It's your breath weapon. You breathe out daggers. I had a friend...
I'm sure there's like some kind of mechanical dragon stat block out there where that is, in fact...
that's essentially... Isn't there like a bone dragon or something that just breathes bone shards?
It's possible.
Actually, I think you're right.
If not, I think white dragons actually spit out ice shards.
Anyway.
Yeah, I had a friend, a French-speaking friend, who couldn't say the word weaponsmithing. He kept saying weapon spitting. Your presence help. Um, it helps rolling the exact same number. So but fortunately, that number was high enough, but not by a strong margin. It won't settle the argument for a very long time. But she does say, my friend here has a very good argument. There's too many people talking right now. You're all covering yourselves up. You want something, he wants the exact same thing, but you both want it for yourselves and you keep arguing against one another. I can't hear what he's saying because he just doesn't speak loud enough, and I can only hear what he's saying because he's got a voice that sounds like someone kicked him in the balls. So, the last one, Fisher, you sort of have that moment of, maybe you shouldn't have went there. Yeah, but that's what happens when you roll a 6. But fortunately, they rolled even lower for their ability to argue. So, and she has a pretty good bonus. So, her persuasion roll, it's kind of like Remy. Remy's, stealth roll. They kind of agree, but because the roll is so low and the success is so close to what needed to be, you get the impression that they're not going to reduce their numbers, their speaking numbers, by a whole lot. And it could backfire in the sense that it could create fewer but stronger clans inside of those elements. But it's going to take them a little bit of time to figure themselves out. So at least you have a reprieve in this.
Wait a minute, I forgot. I'm an asshole.
Yeah.
All right. And as you said, Zal, it's different. Although she is holding up against many people, she is talking their language. So she knows how to make her arguments against them. So she's holding them. Takes a lot of her attention, but she is holding them. And she's used to speaking with headstrong people. She's a businesswoman. Essentially, she's a corsair. Yes, but she is the most prominent one in half of your world, so nothing about this impresses her. And she's very confident of her abilities. So the conversation continues with them. And for now, there seemed to be a greater chance of people not trying to kill one another. Maybe in the next half an hour or something like this. So we go to Remy and audience.
Yeah.
When you reach, you have to go nearly 10th floor down before you start finding more and more Naftans. And eventually you hear Tusul and Nef and Sarn arguing. Tusul for the Naftans and the removal of an undead problem inside of this island chain. And Sarn about how important this tear has become in the island chain. It has shaped many elements. So you hear Sarn saying things like, we can't simply remove such an important source of power. It has been inside of this island chain for thousands of years. It's not just the population and their machines who depends on it. The entire ecosystem has been altered by it and integrated it. We have to find a way to filter the product of this mess, not simply remove it. Tessul counters the argument. There is nothing that guarantees a solution like this will be permanent. There are people living on the other side, intentionally contaminating the flow to this realm. They could simply adapt. It has to be destroyed. It has to be permanently shut down. Their argument turns around those two key elements and is mostly why this can't be resolved. One thinks about balance, the other thinks about eradication of the unnatural.
Audience would walk forward into the conversation.
He throws his sword at the problem.
What?
Throws his sword, yeah, no. I see you two both are struggling to come to a solution to deal with the portal.
Sarn sighs heavily. Unfortunately, there are broader implications than simply the undead in this island chain, and we can't simply dismiss it. Those who have benefited the most are not corrupted. They have changed, and they have migrated throughout the entire shattered continent. Yes, it is not making things easy for sailors, but you can't remove an apex predator from an environment without catastrophic repercussion in the entire ecosystem. And because they're everywhere, it would be the entire world who would suffer.
What I understood of what you told me is that, just to get the facts straight, is that it wouldn't be killing them, they just wouldn't grow as large as they once did.
It would not kill them, but over time it would alter them. It would alter them faster than the environment would be able to compensate for. It would be the same thing as removing an apex predator, a natural apex predator from the world. Ecosystems worldwide would be affected.
I agree that there certainly would be large-term effects, but my question for you, Sarn, is it better to leave something that is born unnaturally? This is not the power of nature that's causing them. This is the power of hags, of an arch-hag, in fact, that causes this mess meant to corrupt people. I understand the sadness and the effect that it would have, and there would have to be some work done to balance it, but to leave something caused by such evil creatures, those who do not protect or worship nature and in fact hate it and actively try and corrupt it, I feel like could only lead to further and more destruction than destroying it and facing the consequences now.
Audience, might I remind you the very report that you filed in with this? The mist comes from another world. It is not unnaturally filtered through here. It is contaminated at the source, but it is something that happened.
Mm-hmm.
Would you remove a spring, the only spring of an island chain, one that becomes, after miles and miles of travel, the rivers that fuels life on an island chain? Would you remove it simply because an animal has died near the source?
Not if an animal had died. But if there was someone who was actively corrupting it and that corruption would not go away, then yes. Better to have no spring than a corrupted one.
All right, Remy, ditch the corpse.
And unless you mean Sarn to deal with the hags themselves and stop the corruption, then I don't see another option.
I am for trying to filter the corruption of the hag through the mist and not simply remove the water. Removing the water would kill everything in the island. Removing the body, or at least the influence of the body, would allow the environment to sustain itself.
Well, then you need to find a purifying factor to counter the corruption of the mist as it comes through the portal.
Yes, that is my argument. That is what I'm saying. The soul tells you, audience, it is not simply an animal who has died on the other side. It is people.
I know, Tsul, I'm agreeing with you.
Why not kill the bitch?
Tsul looks at you and says, and you volunteer to go back into that realm and try and kill that covenant?
No.
That is my point. Since no one wishes to go back to this realm, then the only solution is to close it. Yes, I understand it would affect the entire world. But I feel that many would not argue with the final result. Just like, and Sarn interrupts him, just like forcing summer everywhere. Many environments depends on winter. Without it, there is only drought at the end of the first year. By the second year, drought and fire.
I do think you're blowing a little bit out of proportion the scale of this mist, Sarn. While I agree it will have effects, you saying statements like everything will die if we remove it, I don't think is accurate. Things will change, but isn't that part of nature? Like the natural order of things returning to what they should be? Yes, some species might die. Yes, there will be an effect, but it will return much more to the natural order of what it was supposed to be without the mist from another world in the first place. It will return to what nature intended.
And so that is your judgment based on having lived in these islands For how many years?
I haven't lived in here at all.
I mean
I
the world.
simply see the effect that the mist has on the people.
I am not arguing about the effect that the mist has on people. That is unnatural, and this is why I am pleading to remove only the unnatural element, not removing the limb. Your solution feels as extreme as saying, oh, you broke a finger. Let's remove your arm from the elbow.
You offer an ideal, but I don't. You haven't offered a stabilizing force that could work.
So, you desire an immediate solution, one that could alter the world in ways you cannot even imagine.
I offer. You say you want a stabilization, a way to purify. I don't. Right now, I don't even know if that's possible because you haven't told me of a way we could do it. You're supposed to be
Because
the
no
expert
one
on it.
wants me to. Because no one wants to allow me to start the research. Everyone wants a solution right now. But I haven't even started analyzing the root of the problem. What is the mist exactly? What is it made of? I know that the mist has been here for longer than your entire civilization has been here. It was here before humans started rebuilding their cities after the shattering. It has been here while dragonborns were rebuilding a capital. It has been here forever. Do you know what happened to... I'm not even sure you know about this island. It was... Sorry for the world reference, but it was called something that would translate to Yellow Park. Mm-hmm. The apex predator was removed. Do you know what happened? A large wolf, similar to a dire wolf, but not exactly, simply larger than anything else. People were scared of it. They removed it. Initially, they thought it was a good thing. A lot more smaller animals started to spread around. People hunted them. They had prosperity for a while. Then, nature started to recede. Plants started to die. The forest became thinner. Do you know why? Because the animals that took the environment after had nothing to regulate their population. Eventually, the ecosystem on that island chain died. The forest disappeared. When the forest disappeared, those who live in the forest disappeared. Eventually, the problem resolved itself. And if this is what you want, then I'm sorry, I cannot validate this, because what the environment became was so different that life was unlike anything it was before. Humans have never been able to resettle there because it became a desert environment. Yes, animals survived. Some plant changed, but that is what happened. Are you telling me that removing the apex predator of the world, of the ocean, where there are the most creatures, will simply have a small effect which will be rebalanced? You cannot be this blind to the possibilities of change.
I can see the possibilities, but you also named one example. You don't know how it will change either. It's just a risk.
A risk.
It won't necessarily have it won't have the ill effect you're speaking of this example. There's only a chance it will.
I'm sorry, audience. You are not old enough to properly see everything that can happen. You want to deal in certainties, but that is an illusion. There are never certainties, even in the most carefully created plans.
This is where, if Jork was here, he might have a voice. He's talking to the paladin and the to Sul. He's not gonna get anything from us.
No, it is one of the worst divide between druids and almost everyone else. They are for nature first, and they will always think about nature first. You can't argue a druid to stop putting nature first, because if they do, then they stop being druids.
No, I know.
But he has valid point.
I know he has valid points. He's not gonna get anything
No.
from audience. Audience is gonna be completely on Sul's side here.
So you know what's there, and you know that at least audience would know, because although you haven't seen how the world is affected, but you've seen because you spent 1,000 years in a world where you could make change, and because of that you are aware that a small change can have huge repercussion. The simple element of this is Fisher deciding to not allow the original seafarer to have better sailing ship. Because of that, they develop flying ship, and it led to a war which nearly destroyed one of the two islands. Yeah, you've seen small things which can have devastating consequences, but also, of course,
no, audience understands the point Sarns are making. He just doesn't agree that
no, I know
the risk isn't worth it, and
that
he won't.
that was, to be fair. I mean, that was where I was going next. But the counter argument is, you're a paladin. You will always feel that good should prevail. You will always feel like protecting the people should prevail. And Sarn offers a long-term solution which is going to take time to make. Tussul's offers a risky solution which will have effect right now.
Yep. No, I mean, audience is just gonna be like, I'm sorry, Sarn, I'm with Tussul on this one. I think we should destroy the portal.
Remy.
Amy, set the timer for 3 minutes.
To whom are you saying this? Sarn or audience? Or both?
Like, to the room.
uh,
Someone might understand what he's saying.
no, I mean, when you're saying this, are you looking at Sarn, meaning you are telling Sarn, even though you're saying it out loud so everyone can hear? But are you saying this to Sarn, or are you saying this to audience and to Soul?
Like, again, he's actually saying it to both.
Okay. So essentially, when you're saying this, you're looking at Sarn after you're looking at
Like,
audience.
look to one
you're
and then
looking
the
at
other.
Soul. Right. Sarn looks at you and says, "Unfortunately, your friend doesn't seem to agree with that, Remy."
Maybe the cookies are in the oven still. Don't take them out yet. We're not ready.
Try and convince them, not me. I've been asking them for the time necessary to build something, to study it. They're the one that wants to eat the cookie raw, if I understand what you're meaning.
The mist is corrupting the people of this island. They will never be free. The next generation will never be free until this mist is gone. The longer we wait, the more children are born that don't ever have a chance to leave.
Hey, don't we get a vote? And Raimi starts like forming some illusions of the various folks that they have encountered while on the island.
I'm happy for them to get a vote, but I'm pretty sure I know which way the people will vote. This is a people versus
Well,
nature.
it's better than making all the decisions for yourself, now is it?
Shucks, if we want to bring this issue back up to the meeting, I'm happy for that, but I'm pretty sure Sarn won't get the answer he wants.
It's like Raimi will just the way that he's going to put it is going to seem strong, but it's more the general point. It's like Raimi's going to like minor illusion the wizard and say like, well, you're no better than he is now, are you?
No, I'm fine with the people deciding. I just don't think Sarn is going to get what he wants from them deciding. But I'm perfectly happy to leave it up to them. But I know how people work, Remy. This is only the kind of issue that I think perhaps Jorg, if he was still here, would have, or someone who's studied nature, been alive for a long time, might take Sarn's side. I think people who are scared and want to see better results now are always going to vote on the side of me or Tasul. But I'm happy to give them that vote.
Sarn looks at you, Remy, and says, "I don't mind you bringing this up to everyone, but I think you know it. And maybe it is why you are bringing that argument. It will just give more voices for audience." But if you wish, to quote many like the wizard, Remy, I feel like maybe the proper answer for what you're proposing And the result of it would probably be in your own words. I did this for your own good. Which probably strikes a really bad nerve for you because, Remy, you've heard it said time and time again from your old master when he was punishing you because you didn't make a forgery convincing enough. That is always what people say when they know they're doing something wrong, but they do it anyway. People will want the large, frightening creature gone and will not care about the consequences. They will do it for your own good, they will say. But I appreciate what you tried to do, Remy. And we can, of course, give a voice to everyone. Sarn would not add anything. He simply goes back to the crystal and starts looking at it. You get the impression he's not even going to come up with all of you because he knows how it's going to turn out.
Alright, yeah, audience is gonna head back up.
Alright. Does Remy want to add anything? Did Sarn hit a little too strong by saying I did it for your own good?
Well, no.
Okay.
It's because it's essentially it was Raimi's whole argument.
Mm.
He just doesn't feel comfortable with other people, like especially outsiders, making decisions about their futures, like completely independent of their input, or even letting them make an informed decision.
Well, that's the point of Sarn. People will make a decision, just not an informed one. They will make a decision which will reduce their fear the most, not the decision that is the wisest. That's his argument.
And yeah, it's technically up to those who are giving out the information to actually be honest about that information so they can make an informed decision. But if no one's going to phrase it that way, then, and Raimi can't do it, so...
I didn't say that there was no way to convince Sarn to come up. I just said that right now he feels that if it is brought like this, he doesn't feel like it's even worth for him going up. But if you want
Besides,
to
Raimi has an idea anyway.
Okay. So you leave it there. You leave Sarn to his business with the crystal, and you go up with Audience and Tassul.
Well, since I know that they're going in the direction of Sachet, it's yes.
Okay. So you go back with them. Okay. All right. It takes probably half an hour. No, not even. No, probably 10 to 15 minutes before you come back up. And Fisher, you've been here watching this cacophony of people speaking and trying to make their argument. And you're not sure, honestly, if it's because you were strong the first time and they're not necessarily, but the arguments that are being made, you can almost feel the whispers of the hags pushing them toward the solution of greater chaos. Of greater selfishness. Zal seems to be growing impatient, faster than usual. Sachet is immune to all of this, but she is running out of arguments. Fortunately, the revolutionaries and the rebels are still stuck with trying to figure out who's going to talk. Every time one starts to say, I should be the leader, someone else says, you never done anything, you've never been on that battle, we were there. No, we were there. So it feels like it even devolved. They're even more divided now than they were before. The guilds are more methodical. They have more arguments. They've gathered more resources. They know what happened then. They know what will happen there. They know that this is important. Some of them are even thinking about their own towns and villages. You've even heard the argument being thrown around that, the tower should be dismantled and everything should be redistributed throughout the island chain. That way it'll make the walls on each city stronger, and the undead will no longer be able to get in. And without the influence of the tower, then everything will be fine. But Zal gave a really good argument against that. And so you want to start wars between your islands? No one seemed to truly answer that. And this is when you kind of felt like you could almost hear the whispers of the hag. She was right. It's just that none of them want to admit it. Guilds are trying to turn their islands into island states.
I am going to call up audience.
Yes, Fisher.
Close that portal.
No.
Driving everybody up here to want to kill each other.
No, Sarnes doesn't think we should because of the ecosystem. Me and Tasul disagree with him, but then Remy said we should at least let the people vote on it. Like, we shouldn't make the decision for them. But I'm personally for closing the portal.
Getting them to vote at all is going to be very difficult.
It's true. They can't even pick out their leaders yet.
Alright, are you coming back up?
Yes,
You're
we're
almost there.
Yeah, we're on our way.
I'll
On our way
start.
back.
You want me to start trying to get everybody?
Try and organize them at least into somewhat groups, so we can at least try and start a meeting about this issue.
We've got groups. They're all fighting.
Yeah, get them, start settling them down so we can start a conversation.
Except for the population, they still look very scared of cuddles.
Alright. I'm gonna start going around to everybody and
All right. What did
pick
you
a
say?
representative.
Okay.
We're gonna, before we deal with any of the technology or power or any of this shit in the tower, we've got a different decision to make. So we're gonna vote on that first, because it's something that will affect you that live here, so you should have a say in it. About the mist. So figure out someone that's going to decide stuff, and we're going to sit down and have an adult conversation.
Make a persuasion roll.
It's a lot. Is a, I don't, anything right? Persuade, nope. That is a 16.
Do
Bad
you
for
want to?
Fisher.
Do you want to use a luck point?
No, I did.
Okay.
So it's not a 4.
All right.
Is your
But, yeah,
intimidation is your intimidation any better, Fisher?
no, it's not. I have a +0 to charisma, and I don't have proficiency in any charisma related skills.
That's fair.
Okay. You throw this argument out there, and
I wouldn't call it an argument so much as a
yeah,
declaration of what's going to happen.
Yeah. And of course, you're used to having this element of people looking at you and a part of the population just ignoring you because they think you're just the machine telling them what someone else told them to.
Mhm.
So something happens that makes you feel uneasy. People are watching you and listening to you, all of them, as if you were a normal human talking.
Well, that's got to stop.
Yeah, I don't like it. Go away.
There's just something different in the vibe that you're throwing out. One of them says, "Why would you need everyone's contribution to this?"
Because you deserve to decide on something of this magnitude.
Even them? And he points toward the population. They don't know anything about what's good for them.
What kind of dumb statement is that?
And then you realize you're talking to a guild member.
Fisher kind of puts his head in his hand for a second, and then goes, "Yeah, well, people generally like to decide about stuff that's going to affect them. And I know you like doing that for them because it makes you more money, or because you can make you more money. But this isn't, a money thing. This is the well-being of everybody's souls thing.
Yeah, and how many times have you seen the uneducated make the best decisions for themselves? You hear a bit of grumbling toward the peasantry, but they're still extremely afraid of cuddles.
The uneducated, as you put it, are only uneducated in the aspects that they're uneducated about. They're not dumber than you. They have knowledge in different fields.
So you're saying that a farmer
if they make
should
a decision,
decide how a castle is made. Great society you're going to have.
No. That's not what I'm saying. But it is on those that do know to educate those that don't about the topic. Also, we're not building a castle.
And what another person speaks from the rebels and the revolutionary. And what are we going to talk about exactly? Maybe it would help to shut them up if they knew that their field would actually be involved in this conversation. Or make them feel like they don't have to be there if nothing relates to their competence or incompetence, depending on the situation.
There is a portal at the bottom of the tower that has been leaking corruption into this world for a long time. And long enough to the point where some of the ecosystem has adapted to its presence. Removing it would remove its corrupting effect, but that could have unforeseen consequences on the ecosystem.
So, Fisher, you say this. And then we're going to jump to audience and Remy arriving a few minutes later. Because when they arrive, it's complete and utter chaos on this floor. Everyone is yelling at one another about what's good for them and what's not good for them, and that they deserve to be part of this. They don't deserve to be part of this. You should destroy it. You should not destroy it. It took 5 seconds for the entire conversation to explode and spill out after you just blurred this out to everyone. So Remy and audience arrive in the middle of this complete and utter chaos. It is pandemonium on this floor right now.
You guys walk in, and I'm just by the door. It's like, I'm not good at this stuff.
Yeah, I think I was talking to I see people.
Raimi is going to.
They're not
get
physically
out
fighting,
the orb
though. So you're welcome.
Raimi's going to get out the orb of holding.
Okay.
And he's going to ask for the bomb.
Well, there's a chance that you get bitten if you put your hand in there, so roll the dice.
I know.
Roll the dice and we'll see what comes out. Hold on. What's the dice? I'm pretty sure I have it here. Orb of Holding. All right. Okay. Whenever a creature reads it has to roll a d6. First it hand and roll the 6. So it hands in the right object. All right. You ask for the bomb, and the blue brick just comes out.
Like, Raimi just starts whistling. Is there only one door to this room, by the way?
No, there are several. It's the
Dang.
first floor. There's even a docking bay for trains to come in, so there's probably like 20 different exit points to this room.
Okay. It's fine. It's like, it'll still probably scare people anyway. As just like Raimi just like slowly just starts walking around with the bomb and just like sets it on the ground in front of him.
Well, only you, Fisher, and audience know it's a bomb.
I was gonna
Oh, I
say
know.
it's just kind of a brick of.
I know.
All right.
I'm kind of hoping you guys would would back me up on this one. Everyone tends to shut up when their life's in danger.
I mean, I'm waiting to see it from you. Are you gonna do a thing like hold it over your head and then be like, "Yeah, I'm gonna blow everyone up unless everyone sits down"?
I mean,
I'll
I don't
back
know.
you.
Has Raimi ever heard that? Like, even like in the 1,000 years where he was. Did somebody shout Allah Akbar at some point?
It's
Do what I say or I blow this up? Something like this?
Like, I just need to know if that's even like a possibility. Because I don't have like a full range of like the levels of technology and concept for which in either this world or in the gem world.
We were in the gem world for 1,000 years during wartime. Probably someone at some point said something about blowing something up.
I'm gonna say people are not gonna know that it comes from there, but I feel like it would probably be something Remy could have heard in the gem. Someone not referring to blowing themselves up, actually, but someone threatening to light up fireworks in the wrong place unless everyone shuts up. So you probably do have a moment where he says, "Shut up, or we all blow up." Got it? People aren't gonna know that it wasn't actually super dangerous, just mildly dangerous.
Then he will go with that. Just like briefly holding it up above his head.
Okay.
Shout out for everyone to hear.
So how Fisher and audience are going to react to Remy saying this?
I think audience would go and stand in front of the door so no one could run out to make the threat seem more real, and that would be how he'd help Remy.
So what you're saying is that you take the lever out and you put it on the wall of this floor and you close it fully.
yeah.
Yeah, we're all locked in here now, baby.
So everyone hears all of the doors suddenly closing. There's an eerie silence that appears in the entire room. Everyone's scared that for some reason the wizard survived and this is a huge trap. And then Remy yells this: " Shut up or I blow everyone up." Make a persuasion roll with advantage.
I mean, 15's pretty okay for not being proficient in persuasion.
Welcome to my world.
Well, 15 is enough that most people would actually believe Remy. Probably those who are a bit more exceptional. Sachet would probably figure out that it's a bluff. And maybe a few guild members would believe that you're bluffing. But the population and large portion of the revolutionaries and the rebels and a decent part of the guilds, probably the newly initiated members or things like this, they would feel like it's probably there's a too high of a chance that it's true. So some people would say, "You're bluffing, right?" And you'd hear,
And maybe to respond to that,
Yeah.
no, to respond to that, Raimi would take one of his daggers, and even though they don't have any idea how it actually activates, Raimi is going to have green flame blade suddenly activated on the dagger. Well, bit.
All right. You get a near perfect silence in the room. Those who think you're bluffing aren't sure enough that you are bluffing, and they're not sure if they should risk it. So you have a near perfect silence in the room.
You could hear a cockroach fart.
Yeah, you hear, and everyone goes. All right, so you have silence. What do you say?
Now we're going to come at this with cool heads. Nod!
You have. Hold on. Who's there? You have. Yeah, okay. You have Denirsa, who is inside of here and kind of understand what you're trying to do and kind of sees that it's not an actual problem, but she does kind of lean in slightly and comes next to you and says, "Remy, you okay? You look tense." And she has that voice of speaking to someone, and she is trying to convince not to commit suicide. Maybe you just need to rest a little. Here, there's a place here to sit down. Come on, come on.
All right. If Remy goes and sits down, I think audience would try and take the moment before everyone starts arguing again, while everyone's quiet and sitting down to at least present the issue.
She gives you a small wink, Remy, as she's trying to pull you away.
And Raimi just mimics some light, indistinct grumblings that he has heard from perhaps a begrudging husband or.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Audience is a foreign and be like, as I believe was previously mentioned before I arrived, there is a issue that will affect not all of you here today, but the future generations of those who are born on this island. That issue is the portal at the bottom of this tower, which, since time long before you built your cities, has been spreading the mist on this island that causes undead and corruption. However, it has been made aware by people who have studied and understand how nature works and experts in that field that the ecosystem itself has become greatly tied to this mist, and that by destroying this portal and removing the mist from the ecosystem, it could cause the loss of an apex predators and cause the entire ecosystem to collapse up to the extent of perhaps even causing a complete ecosystem failure, which could lead to the uninhabitability of this island. Now, the corruption...
To illustrate this... Oh, sorry. Since Raimi's always just been like your PowerPoint presenter, it's like Raimi will... Since I have the spell slots for it, or spell points for it, just like he will... a major image will start appearing, and you get the image of... Especially since we've actually seen this, presumably, over in the gem world, like crops dying when forests shrinking.
Yeah. Now, also not removing the mist itself could also have long-term effects as well. This mist is what corrupts the people of this island. Your minds is what makes it, and it will continue to corrupt even the future generations that are born here. Forever long, a solution could be formed to stop the corruption of it, to save the ecosystem. This would mean that perhaps if a long-term solution or a short-term solution wasn't found, that even your children or others would never have the chance to be able to leave this isles and go into the world. This is what's at stake of this decision here. Now, there are two solutions at the moment being offered. One is obviously to destroy the portal here and now. This would remove the mist and the corruption, but could cause unknown effects upon the ecosystem. Or, the second would be to let our druid, San, remain here and study the problem and come up with a solution to counter the corruption of the mist itself, which would be able to save the ecosystem. However, would possibly lead, as I said, to a longer-term solution that could cause still the corruption of the people and the children being born here. Either way, there are risks, and this is something that you all should consider very carefully. Audience is going to kind of take out 2 boxes with stones. He's going to be like, this is a decision that us as outsiders should not make. This is a decision that you, as the people of the room, should make for the future of not just you, but the children of this island. I want you to think, I want you to consider carefully before making this decision, as your vote could change the lives of everyone here. When you're ready, please place a stone or another small object in the box of your decision, and we will count them up and move on with the solution.
Fisher. Audience said something that would probably... I don't know if it would be enough for you to say something, but it would probably at least come up in your mind. Audience is not taking into account a very important thing. The only apex predator that you know of inside of this island chain are the sea serpent. The sea serpents are everywhere in the world, meaning that if this is changed here, it has major repercussion throughout the world, not just the island chain. And as a fisherman, you've seen what happens when a population is overfished. It creates unrest for a long time, and fishermen have to change place, go somewhere else, while they let the environment recover. What Audience is proposing when he says that outsiders should not have a say in this is not completely honest. If the sea serpent are changed here, the entire world can be affected. But, you've never seen what happens if you remove sea serpent. You've only seen what happened when you overfish shrimps or things like this.
And again, not remove, but change.
Drastically change. Is it enough for Fisher to say something? I don't know, and I'm not going to force you. This is one of those decisions that you are making that will have repercussion on the world, but most likely not in the campaign. But who knows? If you want to have a campaign too, you might see the consequences of that.
I think Fisher wouldn't bring it up. Because I guess to him, the people that are like the people from the island don't have any concept of the outside world, so he doesn't think it would be big enough to them to change things. I don't think he would bring it up.
Okay. I'm saying because for Fisher, it becomes obvious that Audience simply is increasing the scale, but not increasing it to all that it should probably be. He went from 3-person deciding the fate of the world to 200 people deciding the fate of the world.
I think that's also another part of it. He realized we can't. He's like, this decision needs to happen now, and we can't keep expanding the amount of people that we include in it.
Okay, so you leave the argument as Audience put it. Whew. Well, Audience, I have to say, you were more honest than I expected. Oh, good lord. Hello, we're back. Sorry, internet imposed us a break. Imposed a break on us, sorry.
I am reminded of, actually, I don't know if Nintendo devices still do this, but when you were on a Nintendo device for a long time, like on a Wii, it's just you've been playing for a long time now. Do you want to take a break?
I don't know about console if they'd still do this, but World of Warcraft does give you hints whenever you log in, and it will tell you. One of the hints are everything is better when not exaggerated, even playing World of Warcraft. Take a break. but I will always say it.
Breaks it for the week.
The best tips that I ever got, well, at least those I remember the most, were from Warcraft 3. The first one was change your underwear daily. Really good hint. Really good tip. The second one is never spit in the wind. Less common, but still very useful. But the last one, so useful, you probably will only ever need it once, but if it happens, it will change your life. Never pet a burning dog.
Oh yeah, you got to put the fire out on that dog. Why are you wasting time petting it? They are in pain.
Edit roughly with a large, less flammable blanket until the fire goes out.
Well, unless it's a hellhound, then it's okay. He's resistant. Well, technically, no, not the hellhound from the Greek mythology. I mean, he's not inherently in fire, I mean. At least I don't think so. It's been a while since I looked at the mythology of the underground. Anyways, it bears little importance for the campaign here. So, I believe that the last thing you heard me say was audience. And then we went on our forced break.
No, you said audience, you, and then we.
Oh, okay.
We don't want to cut you off, like the internet did.
Yeah.
All right. I understand. I'm talking too much. Come on. Didn't need to be that.
I didn't realize that the cane was still even possible, like on a streaming service, but the cane found a way.
Yeah. Only getting the stick, never the carrot. So
Oh no, sorry, it's not called the cane; it's called the hook. My bad. Like I'm getting my stage terminology mixed up.
all right. So what I was about to say before the forced break is you mentioned druid. That word carries weight. So you could probably see how the crowd was going and where it was going and what was influencing who, and could see that your arguments, a lot of the people didn't care that much about the apex predator and all that stuff. The guilds barely listened to what you were saying. Not the guild, the revolutionary barely listened to what you were saying. The guilds were heavily leaning against any sort of helping the environment. For them, nature is a problem to be solved, not something to be respected. But when you mentioned druid, ooh, the vibe of the room changed. Immediately, there was a sense of fear and respect that mixed into everything. The peasants both fear and respect the druids because they help the crops. And in this island right now, without food, with the weather being this harsh, with the undeads being that big of a problem during summer. The only thing that the peasants are thinking right now is, if we anger the druids, will they still help us? Out of fear. You see them. Well, if you plan this correctly, you can't see in which box they're placing whatever they found to put in. They simply put their hand in both boxes. But Remy's passive perception can probably hear the clunk when they open their hand and know in which box they voted. The peasant mostly go for respecting the nature. Great majority. The guilds vote mostly against the druids. You can even hear some whispers amongst them that commerce would be greatly helped if they weren't stuck using the trains to get from one island to the other. If they could have boats, commerce would be changed forever. So less predators means better opportunities. To hell with the consequence. The revolutionaries and the rebels, those are pretty severely divided. They've come up against the Druid many times. And they're kind of mad at them. But many of them are peasants. Many of them are farmers, are laborers. And they are aware of what they bring and their knowledge. And the fact that when you don't respect what they say, there are usually bad consequences. Because druids usually don't interfere. Unless something large scale is going to happen if you do something. And you see that while the people and the guilds have already voted, they are still debating, trying to figure out what they should do. Do you want to try to influence their vote one way or the other as they're still deliberating? And
I don't.
You don't? All right.
I don't. I said it was up to the people, and I'm sticking by at least my core credential of giving them the honest arguments of both sides and letting them decide.
All right. It just so happened that the box that you picked, one is blue and one is black. So which one is the one?
Whoa, what a coincidence.
Which one is
I
the
think
box?
audience is starting to get really tired of this damn colors.
Which one is the box of respecting Druid's desire, and which one is the one not respecting Druid's desires?
Blue will be respecting Drew's desires because it's like water for the Leviathans.
Okay.
black will be the other one.
Thematic, I like it.
All right. Blue rolled 17, black rolled 10. In the end, Remy can confirm that the revolutionaries and the rebels, after long deliberation, stupidly long deliberation, end up placing most of their vote
Okay.
in the
I
box.
think audience would count it out in front of everyone so no one could complain.
All right.
With the decision made. He's not going to be like, oh, this guy's one. They're going to be like, well, you could have just said that. He's going to very obviously be like, here is your guys' votes. Because he knows he's seen how the guilds work, and he knows they're going to complain otherwise. So he's going to be like, here's your guys' votes. Here's what you voted on.
For each
Yes.
side.
Oh, look, guys, the president's going to complain and then demand a recount.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not going for the whole recount thing. We're not revoting.
Well, some people are arguing because everyone took something that they could put in, and some people have placed objects that are a bit bigger than others. So you have people who say, "Hey, does that count as 1 or 2?"
It counts as 1. Every object
And then-
counts as 1.
And then, of course, like everyone's gonna be like, "Well, what about the mail-in stones?"
Oh, that's mean. In last election, there was a major issue here because in one county, I think that's the equivalent for you. One side won by 1 vote, and the day after, a voter received a letter saying that it was sent to the wrong address, but the address was written on the envelope by the service who counts the vote. So it was their mistake. And they lost by 1 vote, so they begrudgingly accepted to redo the entire voting process for this county. 1 vote.
Alright. I will say, I guess, can someone let Sarn know after the vote's been counted? I'll say, can someone go let Sarn know to start his research on the portal, and that will be going with his solution.
Of course, the soul is not happy. When you finish counting the vote in front of everyone, you just hear him say, "Ignorance." And he storms off.
Fair enough. Alright. Let's move on, since we all have everyone seated. And we have this nice voting process going. Let's continue on to the next issue, in which Elector's Law, we will be taking more of an active part, which is the resolution of what to do with the tower and its resources. Now, I know there have been a couple proposals put forth. Some would be to destroy the tower but take the materials to produce equipment. Others are to destroy the tower in its entirety. I know Zal, I'll look at her, feels, and rightfully so, that she is owed a large portion of the resources for her help in the loss of the material and resources from her ships and people. I'm sure all the groups probably feel like they have some claim to the resources here. We are going to do this before we do a vote, as I don't think we're quite ready, we are going to do this in a discussion-based format, but not in an argument. People can take the floor if they want and make their arguments, And then at the end, when everyone has made their arguments, we will decide through a delegation process what we want to do. There are some things, I will say, that are required, but that will be the easiest solution to start.
Remy, is there something you want to do before audience finishes speaking?
I mean, nothing that Remy hasn't already done. He 100% was. You guys might remember, like during that whole conversation, with God Mom E, if you will. It's like he was just going through like whatever was like lying around in the wizard stuff.
Yes. By the way, you did find a lot of small controlling device. You get the impression that he was keeping a very tight leash on everything the tower could do.
What we're saying is this Remy is actually in control of this tower right now, but nobody knows it.
Yeah.
Not even him. He couldn't identify it, but yes. Essentially, yeah. Right now, Remy is in full control of the tower. He could say kill them all and they would start attacking again.
Yeah, you don't even need the bomb, Remy. You have the much larger bomb.
Well, you see now, people are focusing on the bomb, thinking that's the biggest threat.
No, it's true. It's
So
misdirection.
meanwhile, Remy is attuning to the to the tower.
Misdirection.
Sleight of hand, if you will.
My sleight of hand did get stupidly higher. It's like I now can't roll lower than a 32.
So, I will say,
Yes.
the audience finishes proposing this to save some time, because I think we already know a lot of the arguments that are going to be made by each group. Audience will say, and I'll say this above table for everyone, audience is for, honestly, Zal getting some resources in recompense, because he does believe she deserves that, but then honestly fully destroying the tower and removing it as a symbol that can be used in the future. But that's the side audience is on.
I would tend to agree that like the wealth objects really don't matter.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's perfectly fine to give her the majority of the wealth objects because wealth is decided by, whatever the people decides is valuable.
Also, audience's honor would require him to give, and he does feel like Zal gave. I mean, she did lose 40% of her ships in the attack.
60%
Like,
of
60.
the fleet was destroyed.
60% of her fleet. She does deserve that, and audience's honor would require him to give her those objects.
The wealth objects.
You didn't say only wealth. You said anything she wanted. Meaning she can start picking among the ballistas, the generators, the machines making
True.
machines.
Audience also cares less about that because he knows that technology similar to that already exists outside of the island, and as long as it's removed from the island, he doesn't care as much. But it's for the island itself, he thinks the tower itself needs to be removed. But...
that's why I'm also on the side of aside from destroying the tower or otherwise making it inoperable, the removal of objects that a power might try to use later. It's because even if the tower's gone, if all the cool stuff is still acquirable or the energy sources, like the damned barrels of God knows what.
They could just rebuild. No, I mean, in some ways,
won't have a god powering everything.
They won't have a god. No, they couldn't get quite to the same level, but it would.
But Fisher's kind of the same
mind. Actually, audience would prefer Zal takes all the dangerous technology with her.
So, but I would say, like, especially if there's anything that's obviously important or necessary to keep on the island, it's like even if it's just something like, because I would imagine that the wizard has taken, maybe even held hostage, like objects of import, like from the various parts of the island chain.
So
Yeah, this would also be up. One more thing I'll say about the table, just
Yeah.
to present. This would be up to Fisher because it's more yours than mine from an argument stand basis. So willing to give up, but also if Zal is going to throw a huge fuss about this, and there's no other way to convince her, audience would be willing to give her kind of our ship to help levy the expense for her help with this whole attack. But since it's kind of more your ship, that's kind of up to you.
Mm-hmm.
If bitch got money, she can make her own damn ships.
I mean, I agree, but if she's truly going to be like refusing to agree to anything, that
Like,
would be
we'll help carry her stuff.
that would be the other counter offer I would
Fisher, there's something that would probably be on your mind because everything you told me about. Because you've mentioned this to me several times, and you did take time to gather information about this, this information is something that you would know. And I don't know if you fear it or agree that she should. So, what do you do with that information? That is something that if she wants, she's fine, she will want it. Anyone would.
She really wants to clap that ass.
No, she really wants the generator.
Go full throttle.
Mm-hmm. I was under the assumption that it was using the
Even
reason
if
it's so strong is because it was using the god.
Oh, possibly. But it is the same thing as saying, I found a really cool generator. It's out of fuel. All I need to do is find a good fuel source. And then I can use it again. And if she does, she will be unstoppable. All right. While you ponder about this possibility, pandemonium explodes in the room when the audience stops talking because everyone wants a piece of something. This is why I said, Remy, maybe you want to do something. Take out the bomb again, saying, "Ah!"
Okay, sorry. Like the dagger lights up again, just kind of like bringing it a bit closer to the bomb brick.
Okay. The room quiets a little bit when you threaten it again. Sorry. And conversation starts a little bit more civilized. But still, it's like letting a room full of politicians argue. Yeah, you don't have 300 people yelling, but you still have 52 person all wanting something, starting to yell to another person that wants the same thing, trying to argue that they need it most. And it is still a intellectual slugfest.
Could always go the King Solomon route.
I do think audience would argue for the destruction of the tower during these conversations, and he would do so by basically pointing to the historical fact that every time this tower has been left, or the resources of it have been left, another person like the wizard has come to power, and like basically pointing out the cost that it took this time, and how who knows if we'd ever be able to defeat another person like this again, and do they really want to return to being basically oppressed slaves under the rule of the one person who gets the power of the tower, and that by destroying that it would basically take away the potential of that ever happening again. Well, there would still be issues. There wouldn't be this one rule that could just terrorize the entire island chain through the power of the tower. I will give you a persuasion roll on that.
I think Fisher would help in that. I think he would clarify or like put it in very clear terms of like what everybody's thinking, but maybe not saying is that I know each group of you individually wants to be that group with the tower, but more than that, all of you collectively do not want someone else to have the tower.
And
no one is going to agree to give it to you, so nobody can have it.
Do you want to give me advantage on my persuasion, or do you want to roll your own persuasion?
No.
You want okay. Makes sense. You got it to be one better. It is now a 32 instead of a 31.
Okay.
I'll take it. I'm helping.
Technically, you are.
Yeah. Yeah. So, good argument. An argument which not a lot of people can answer to. Some make claims about being reasonable and responsible. Arguments which are immediately torn down with historical fact. The fact that everyone has always tried this and it has always failed. The argument turns in a direction that you probably didn't expect. Eventually, someone mentions something from the past. that the island became a self-sustaining hell only when the outside world stopped sending mages. When the outside world stopped helping them. Before that point, before that moment, the managers of this place were able to keep everything rolling. Although it was a prison, and prisoners were led to their own devices. Which brings back the idea of everything went to hell because the outside world stopped helping them. And so the people governing were not raised outside of the influence of the mist. From that point on, it was always someone born in the mist, living in the influence that took leadership and slowly pushed everything out of place.
I think audience, because of inner knowledge, a little bit of inner knowledge, would respond, it looks like you need your head of your governing body then to be someone who has not been corrupted by the mist.
Does that come with a suggestion?
It would.
Okay.
I would basically... I don't think audience wants to suggest it, though. I think
Right.
he would try and kind of lead someone else into suggesting it, because he doesn't want to be an outsider suggesting it. I think that...
Right now, as you suggest that, and you wait a few moments to see how it unfolds, you are witnessing a turn which is kind of weird. Some people are trying to advocate to find people who are resistant to the influence, but people are mostly naming priests and things like this. And some are starting to look at Zal as being an alternative.
I think audience would say, well, I don't know who... This is all I would say. I would say, well, I don't know who here is, who you all decide to fit to be a voice of your people, but if you're looking for people that I know who have grown up on this island who are resistant to the mist, I've only ever met one of them, and that was Sachet. And I'll just kind of casually drop that in the conversation, but won't say anything else.
I'd
Casual
say,
manipulation.
yeah, just casually. I'd say when you say this, you hear Sachet do.
Audience does not look at her.
When she managed to take a breath again, you hear her say, "What?"
Yeah. You've never...
There's a minor illusion off in the distance, and like, hey, she's kind of hot.
Yeah. You've never been... Yeah. Audience will go, yeah, you've never been able to tell. Normally with my... And these people probably know how this work, with my ability to detect good and evil, I've been able to feel the trace connections of evil that have been, the mist on the corruption, and always felt that of most of the people here, but you don't have that. Meaning that the mist doesn't affect or corrupt you. Meaning you've always been thinking with a clear head.
And even more, you're current new power could probably even more confirm that, because you'd feel like it's just sliding off of her. Not because she's evil, because...
Yeah.
there's-
Audience knows this. He's more just saying this so everyone else now hears him saying it.
Well, she's completely dumbstruck by this. She's what? Audience? What are you doing? I...
Hey, that's a great idea.
From somewhere in the crowd.
Again, Remy will 100% manipulate the crowd.
Okay.
Not just because he agrees with it, but it's also, a really chaotic, funny way of achieving the goal.
I'm not made to rule. I can barely get a group of people to talk to one another.
Really? That's surprising to me, because I only gave you 2 weeks notice that we were going to be arriving, and you were able to gather an entire army of common folk in that time. Again, very loud audience says this in front of me.
Well, that's because of everything you told me. That was much easier to convince everyone. I shouldn't be doing this alone.
Hey everyone, audience turns to the room. Quick poll. Did everyone start following Sachet because of the words she said or because of who she is as a person? If it's the second one, raise your hand.
It's tight. When people start raising their hand, it's tight enough that you actually have to count it. But some people seem to not want to do anything. They just stay there watching the floor.
I'm going for the common folk wave, and once enough people raise their hand, everyone's gonna want to feel as a part of that. So once the majority shifts to everyone raising their hand, everyone's gonna raise their hand, like in a classroom when someone gives the correct answer.
Well, I was also going to say, there's a devoted group of people to her. And they not only raise their hand, but they also make themselves heard. They start talking out to everyone, saying that she understands what the people need. She understands what they're afraid of. She understands things because she wasn't part of all those things. She always lived next to everyone who never noticed her. But she always listened. She always watched. She never tried to bring anything to her. She always tried to give to others. And she knew things that only someone who watches without trying to influence would know. And it kind of is affecting people. Then another one talks about, well, he saw her, and even to people that weren't exactly nice to her, she never lashed out. And especially now that they know she could have, because they all saw her fight for them and coming to the tower. And inside of the tower, she could have quieted everyone, and she never actually did. She always just accepted and still helped. it's kind of creating a weird wave in the group. And then you hear a really deep, gruff voice, slightly panicked in its way of talking. Don't be shy! Vote! And he yells, now! In a way that reverberates everywhere. You recognize Raw. Bloodied, bruised, exhausted, but still able to scream its lungs out, as all Dragonborn can, and only Dragonborn can. And he's a barbarian, so he's doing this while raging. Just because he has no control as when his rage is used. Because he is feral. The entire room just goes quiet for a moment. Not sure what to do with this. But they see her putting her hand on Ra's shoulder. And he immediately calms down. Not for long, but he does. And that sways even more people to vote for her. In the end, the population votes nearly unanimously for her. The rebels and the revolutionary, it's not unanimous, but more votes for her than for Zal. And the guilds are terrified of Ra, so they almost unanimously vote for her. They're very brave when they're behind their desk, but when they're in front of a raging barbarian who tells them to vote and they see that she can calm him with just a gesture. Remy, there's a faint odor of pee in the room.
Oh, gross.
Don't worry.
I assumed there already was, honestly, from all the.
No, don't worry. Remy is the only one to smell it because he has such a high passive perception. You're muted. We couldn't hear you. You're muted. I think he can't hear me. You're muted, Remy.
Oh, sorry. Sorry, sometimes like my voice cancels out my own hearing.
Okay.
What I was gonna say, it's like, I mean, I can only imagine. Gee, thanks. It's like that passive perception of 30 is really like coming in great for me right now.
The only moment in your life where you say, "Why do I have such a high perception?" God.
Has nobody showered?
Well, you know, they already smell like blood and
Yeah, no, they haven't.
You know what? I'm turning on the power wash.
Geyser. No.
Oh. Is somebody trying to have a sort of soundboard on?
No, it's just I just got the answer from Sam when I told him to.
Oh, okay. It's
Warn
just like, that was
everyone.
just like perfectly timed.
When did you send it?
When you asked me.
I literally just got it. That was the warning of my telephone, warning me that I had just received something. Interesting. All right. So, with this, well, audience, I think I'm going to have to create a empowered version of the Blossom of Faith. You not only respected the base tenets of your god, you not only accepted a possible defeat to be honorable, but also now you furthered the goals of your god.
The good one this time.
The good one. Hey, I am very listen. One thing audience has always been good at is furthering the goals of his god. He's very good at that.
Like
Now
you're
he's
a
serving a
great
good one.
businessman. No matter which company you work for, you always put in 110%.
I do.
As all good Dragonborn do. Wow. All right. Well, that, like I said, I'm gonna have to figure out something good because that's a lot. All right. When
I
did
do think while everyone voted, and I could kind of see the way they were voting, I would for just a moment, and so no one else could hear, kind of not even stand, but like almost like walk by Sachet, and as I walk by, basically just say, I'm sorry, but this is how it had to be, and you will do an amazing job. I believe in you. And then just keep walking.
Yeah, you can do that, of course.
But I do think I would say I'm sorry, because I know that this isn't maybe 100% what she wanted, but
Yeah.
it's the right thing.
No, by the fact that she almost choked to death. She does not know what to answer. So you just say this and you keep walking while she looks at everything unfolding in front of her, completely baffled, bewildered, not sure how to respond to any of this. Because when everything is done, the vote is not completely unanimous, but it is a large majority. Judging from those numbers, I'd say that's not too hard to estimate. So that's divided by times 80% of the people, of all the people present in the room in front of you right now, vote for her to be placed as head of the tower. She looks small right now. Unsure. Touched by the fact that so many people view her as someone who could lead. And frightened of everything that this entails, everything that this will mean. the first thing she says is she wants one representative for the guild, for each of the two inhabited islands, and one representative for the population for each of the two islands. Since the wizard is no longer, the rebels and the revolutionaries are no longer necessary, meaning that they should go back to the population and the guilds. Which also means that if they want a chance to be that person next to her, this is where they should be. And this is how they should voice their opinion. She also asks for one representative of the arcane born, the machines. If they want to live with everyone, then two, one for each island. But there is an island that is currently empty of people, and it would not put them at the same level as everyone else, because everyone else has two islands. But if they want, she will help them reclaim the third island for them. There's already a small colony of good machines living there. And she looks at you, Fisher, when she says this, and she looks at one of your family member inside the room. She specifies that they already know how to live in this island. So, if they want to reclaim it, it's theirs. And they should probably talk to them. But if they want to live with people, then one representative for each island. And she lets them decide. Now, currently in here, sentient machines.
I was going to say, is there any outside my
There's you, Fisher, there's your family, but some of the Mar-E starts to step forward. The Mar-E are the most developed ones. So in order, there was the Mill-E, the Civ-E, and the Mar-E. The Mar-E are a good portion of them are sentient. They can take decisions, and they were usually used as the equivalent of generals or commanders. So there aren't a lot, but they actually do think. They can actually take decisions, which means a lot of them are probably sentient machines. You feel the awkwardness of the whole thing in the room. People watching at those creatures who have forced them to do awful things, who have done awful things themselves. Being given a vote in all of this? But then Raw quiets down the room in the way that he is so proficient at, by yelling at everyone.
Do any of them have a symbiote?
Um, they all do, but it is a lesser version. Um,
Mhm.
like Civ once told you, for a small group of them, the symbiote um, comes in three shape, which determines if you are Mil E, Civ E, or Mar E. Um, but for a small group, when the symbiote was given to them, it had a different effect, a stronger effect,
Mhm.
which is what made many think that it actually gave them awareness. And so everyone thought that this small group was the only one self-aware. But
Mhm.
right now, what you're seeing, some of them, a handful of them, are moving by themselves, while the others are just waiting for something to happen. They don't know what, they don't know who. They're waiting for a command, for Remy to give a command. But a handful of them are actually moving on their own, getting closer. Not in a way a predator would, but in a way that a confused person, drawn by a small light in the dark, would cautiously approach it. So it does look like you managed to create, for now, at least, kind of a society. Yeah.
I think Fisher is kind of like warily optimistic.
Thank you.
Really, he's hoping that the release of Mom E um, allowed them like a final bit of sentience for themselves, um, but is wary in case they have been fully sentient this whole time.
Yeah.
And
So one side effect that Fisher can probably deduce from what she said is that no longer um, your kind will gain sentience by slowly, because that was the process of bonding with a body. It was the one that you went through. Um, Now that she
oh,
is there, now that she can create and simply bless machines with souls, it will no longer be progressive. It will simply be you turn it on, and this one looks at you and says, "What the?"
mhm.
So that should probably be the first side effect of her becoming a god. No
Okay.
longer will there be a machine which will have to go through the process of bonding with a body forcefully. It will simply be you have been blessed with a soul, and you wake up. So maybe those people, like you said, they might have already been sentient, but it's possible that they were becoming sentient also. And because of that, that may be why they're so cautious. They don't know, they don't understand what's happening right now, but they're understanding that someone is giving them a chance to figure it out.
Mhm.
Of course, they won't be truly sentient until they are dipped in holy oil.
Mm-hmm.
Very relevant for a machine.
They got to get baptized.
Yeah.
Or maybe like
There's going to be a weird hardcore offshoot
bite-tized.
sect that lights the oil on fire for some reason.
And if you find one that is a shapeshifter, is it called a transformer? So you definitely gave birth to a new society right now. So what next?
I'm in.
Yeah, in the last 24 hours, you toppled a tyrant. You changed the future of machines everywhere forever. You officially made them sentient. So now no one can argue that they are. Every priest around the world will start feeling it really soon. You've created a kingdom of this place. You've crowned it with a woman that seems to be unaffected, or at the very least, extremely resistant to the effect of the mist.
How about lunch?
Yeah.
Lunch. Actual answer. Actual answer. On to the next one, because we still got like 6 things to do.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I think it's time for us to leave. We got other shit. Like, we've done what we can here.
Yeah.
Audience who want to go home?
I think it's time.
Cleaned up mine. Cleaned up Ramy's.
It's true.
Hopefully, we don't have to set a village on fire.
The goal is to not set the village on fire.
That's why I said I hope that we don't have to set a village on fire.
Now, I will say, the village may try to set us on fire.
Small chance.
Well, what's the percentage of like the different types of dragonborn in your village? Are they all lightning? It's,
There's a mix.
There's a mix, but
like,
now,
I know in that.
Now that you know, you're kind of forced to say, yeah, but there's probably just a little bit more of your kind.
Yeah. No, I would say lightning. If you guys want to grab some potions of lightning resistance, might be the decent call.
I don't know, no offense, but you're the only dragonborn I've ever seen like actually do much with its breath.
You know what? You're not wrong.
Well, the Tempered. You've never watched the Tempered, but technically you know that the Tempered have a better breath weapon than the normal one.
Yes, but there also aren't any tempered in my.
No.
They're just regular. No, I will say, honestly, the goal for my home is to honestly try to avoid the village as much as possible. Hopefully, we can directly confront the Avatar, kill it, and then that will be enough to prove to the village that his words are false, since they believe a god cannot be killed by a mortal's hands. So then their options are worship me or say that he wasn't an actual god, and I'm pretty sure they'll pick the second.
Well, if you're waiting for every party member to be there when you say this, including Orunak, and no, that's not true. Orunak, the spell,
Orunak
because
desummoned, yeah.
Desummoned. So, including Terry.
Terry's been here the whole time.
Yeah.
Terry's here.
Oh, you could have put him back into his box. That's what I mean.
No.
Terry
Probably
would...
put him back in his mech once, so we're not
Yeah.
dragging around
I think
the
once
back.
it was working again, he was.
Yeah.
I think he was looking menacing in the corner.
arm crossed.
Yeah.
Also, I'll look at Fisher. I'm like, we should probably leave before Core finds us.
Yeah.
So you look on the other side of the door, you unlock it with the lever. You go.
Like Core is just on the other side of the door. Hey guys!
Yeah. I mean, I don't know what's more honorable than like getting rid of the wizard and setting up Sachet as like the ruler and everything, but yeah, I don't know with that guy, so yeah, let's get out of here.
So Terry would probably mention, audience, how did you figure out your god was not a good god?
Was there a particular moment? I felt like there were a couple of me like figuring. It was for me the main one. I would say. Well, I'll say this. I'll say the biggest moment for me was with the exiled, and feeling him when he tried to tell me to kill him, and knowing that no good god, no god that he'd promised to be would ask me to do that. But that was also along with all the other hints I'd been being given along the way that helped me come to that decision. But that was the final straw for me.
Do you think that if people were made to see the truth in what was, their opinion might change?
I honestly don't know. It took me a while. I didn't believe it initially. I'm not sure they could be instantly swayed.
Harry, would you be able to share that memory with his people?
I am not sure adding something would work, but maybe if I help them see things from a different angle, it could sway them. I can reach into their thoughts and force them to see the world in the way that your dragon did not want them to see. Mechanically speaking, he is telling you that he could try to detect thoughts and use the forced ability of detect thoughts when he finds one.
I think that would certainly help. In my mind, there are three components that I plan to use to try and sway my people. One, and obviously the hardest, is the death of the Avatar. I don't think, for my 1,000 years, I learned that there could not be any final change unless he was removed. The second, I guess now, would be you helping them see the memories. And the third and final one is the favor that, well, we'll see if that one's needed. But I do still have another dragon who owes us a small favor that might come in useful.
Especially since you've heard that the previous prospect of being the favorite child has come back to the village.
there is a... Unfortunately, he's quite clever and is given a hesitancy to silver dragons. So the other components will need to be placed correctly first. But if she can be brought in later, I think once we've completed the other two tasks, I think there's a chance she could listen to her, see what she's built, and that might be an easier transition for them. Because as I've said, I have not rejected the idea fully of what my religion was trying to do. Simply, I want it to be like what the Silver Dragon was able to create with her village, more so than what my god corrupted into mine.
Yeah, and a lot of people like living monastery life, you know.
Yeah, but it's not what she did with the monastery. It's more how
Oh
she
yes,
the
my
connect.
porridge.
It's more her connection to the people and how she treats, because that was always the fundamental tenets of my religion.
Could I have more sand in my porridge, please?
I don't know if he's listening to us right now or not, but I hope you recognize what we're talking about.
Alright. I guess we're gonna go set up the teleporter and get ready to leave the top of the tower. That's what we're gonna do.
Well, as you are getting ready to leave, some of the adventurers do come up to you and ask if you... It seems, since you seem to be leaving, they wanted to know if you had a plan to get out of here.
Yes. And I'll explain the plan of setting the teleporter up at the top of the tower, which should allow people to leave. Now that the wizard won't be blocking us, so it won't be a red orb this time.
Connie, while injured but still alive, tells you, well, I don't know about traveling through the orb and, you know, forcefully trying to push through the barrier of another avatar again. If you're willing to, I don't know, step on your pride, I believe Sarn has an easier way out.
Oh, what pride? Sorry, has a better way out.
Like, I gave up my pride a long time ago.
Nah, that's not what it was. Just audience doesn't. Yeah, audience didn't have.
I'm
anything
making a joke.
particularly against Sarn being right. He just had his opinion.
Oh, no. That comment did not come from the DM. It came from Connie, a character that I have to interpret through the lenses of what she knows and sees.
Oh yeah, audience will say, "Oh, there's no pride. I'm happy that everyone came to a decision. I can go. Sure, let's work with Sarn. I assume we'll honestly need a better way to transport out the massive ships, or as well, or Zal's gonna kill me. But
yeah.
You can't get out. What you gonna do?
she's gonna kill me. That's the answer.
Well,
I have a very pissed Dragonborn coming after me.
she was relying on you to help a small portion of people to get out, but because you told her before, she made sure that most of the captains, the great majority of the captains and crew, were people who would be able to enter and leave.
That is true.
So she only needs your help for a handful of people, mainly her,
Probably,
Craven.
yeah, including herself. It's like including herself. But
So when you tell her that it's time to go, she joins up with you after maybe half an hour because she has to land, she has to pick up everyone that needs to come out. There's only about 6 or 7 person following her. Everyone else is left. Will leave on their own. So you go down to where Sarn is. You see him sitting cross-legged in front of this tear in reality. When he sees you coming, he says, "So, have you come to remove the crystal?"
No. The people decided. I honestly presented both arguments, and the people decided to not to go with your way. I believe if you wish to stay here and study and come up with a solution, that's what's been requested.
Oh, that was unexpected. Oh, coming back here is easy. All right. Well, I know where I'll be spending my free times. All right. Yes, I imagine that you all want to leave.
Yes. I'll look around. Is this everyone? I assume anyone else can get back later. I'll say with Sarn, Core, any of the other people wanting to come back.
Yes. I've learned that it is better to leave Core. Do what needs to be done when he's ready for them to be done.
Okay. Audience, think to yourself, not that it would necessarily be the worst for Core to be stuck on this island, but might be good for him.
Did you say this out loud?
No.
Okay.
You never know where that dude's hiding.
Yeah.
All right. So the only one who actually hears you is Terry because he's focusing on you and because of the abilities of the
Only Terry hears me.
Terry looks at you and says, "I thought you would be worried he would be trying to take on the Avatar of Justice." Oh, maybe I'm the only one who thought about that.
He might try. If he does, whatever happens, happens. That's not my story.
It would be a shame, since the Avatar can be reasoned with. There's a moment, Fisher, where Terranad, the inside of you, says, "Ah, why do I have the weird feeling that Terry reasoned his passage in with the Avatar of Justice when you came in this time?"
He's just that smart.
Yeah, that's kind of scary.
Not to brag, but I think I raised him right.
You in an entire world. A gem world.
Sometimes the best thing you can do as a parent is just get out of their way.
Especially when you can be sure they're going to survive it.
Yeah.
You know what they say? It takes a village to raise a child.
It takes a gem world to raise a worm. All right. Everyone gathers. The wounded, the unconscious, those to be resurrected. Yeah. Everyone's there. Sun says, "Well, it's probably not going to be the most pleasant walk. But I thought about how to get out of here, and I realized that it's just as simple as anywhere else in the world. So, Do you have a preference between wet, warm, windy, or desolate?
Is it windy everywhere?
Oh, that's going to be so much more windy.
Because I don't know. I feel like everywhere we go, it's
Warm.
always windy.
We might as well just go what feels natural.
Warm. Fisher wants warm.
Warm.
Send us to the beach.
Everything has been cold.
Actually, you know what? Fair point. It would be nice to go to some place that's not cold for once.
You know what? You're right. We're going on a holiday. As audience thinks to himself, they're not gonna like my village that we're headed to next. That's
Exactly. Give us just this short amount of time of being warm before we have to go
Wait, what
back.
I'm hearing is this a beach episode?
No. Sarn is using...
the plane of fire.
Yes! How did you guess?
No, I know what was happening. I just thought it would be funny.
I also
Oh, well, there was supposed to
I'm
be
just imagining
something.
a beach episode where it is a construct still fully decked out in armor.
Hey,
Like,
if we didn't find ourselves in front of a time constraint, just saying, there kind of was a chapter which was supposed to finish with a dodgeball match. Just saying.
and then, a naked tree. Just, I can't really call it sunbathing. But but then again, you don't see many,
Photosynthesize.
deciduous trees on a beach.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there was an end of chapter which was supposed to end with a oh wow, my poor stomach. End with a I just said it. Why don't we dodgeball match? But the
really
super dodgeball on the I think it was NES or Super NES. So you would have been able to use your ability with the your abilities with the ball.
Like Terry uses Mind Spike to spike the ball.
Oh, everyone would have been. So audience would have been able to Divine Smite with the ball. Fisher, you would have been able to Fireball with the ball. So, Sarn opens a portal, and you can all go in. You find yourself at the border between the material world and the elemental plane of fire. Meaning that everything still has essence. It still has physicality. Sorry, you're not far enough inside that everything just becomes essence of fire. Sorry. He just takes everyone in, get them walking. Don't be afraid. Everything's fine as long as I'm here. You're not going to get hurt. Please don't go too far. I'm not sure how far my influence extends.
While we're walking, let me tell you the story of the time we saved a cat from the plane of
What was it called again? Curdy, I think.
I think so. That sounds about right.
Audience will start telling everyone the tale of how they saved the cat.
And the cat belonged to the Maiden of Ash.
Yeah.
Audience still has that moment of she's so hot when she says Maiden of Ash.
Literally.
Yeah, we're best friends actually, first name base. No.
Yeah.
Me and her cat, I mean.
She lets me call her Ashley.
Yeah.
All right. So, takes a little bit of time. He moves you away from the door. Audience has time to tell the riveting tale of how you save Curdy and earn the favor from the servants of the Lady of Ash. And then eventually Sarn says, "Alright, we should be far enough that I'm able to escape the influence of the Avatar of Justice. So where do you want to reappear?" As long as there's a tree nearby, I can take you there.
I mean, we should probably head back to the garden first and then head out.
So you're gonna take a ship to go back to the... Oh no, that's audience knows his village inside out. You can take the helm of teleportation. All right, never mind.
Figured we could just teleport there. So
you need something that's from this village to be able to teleport there successfully. What do I do? Do I touch my navel?
Yeah. Audience would say, let's at least wait a day. Because,
we should, like, sleep. Or you guys should sleep.
Let's not immediately go to my village.
Alright. So, Sarn keeps on walking until he finds what passes as a tree in this realm. He
It's an ash tree.
I'm not familiar enough with the names of trees and things like this to make these jokes, but I know which tree you're talking about, so I understand the joke.
I mean, if it's big enough, we could also try a sunflower.
Now that one, I wish I'd thought of it. All right. So, you're all teleported back to the freezing landscape of the island chain on which you've had so much adventures, because you are still inside of the celebration week after the new year. So it's still very cold, very windy. It almost hurts when you arrive because you've been walking in a plane of fire for probably something like 15 minutes. So you had time to get adjusted, and yeah, that's so good. And then you step out and it's not as cold as in the Northern Isles because you're much lower in the world, but still, well, at least there isn't snow up to your hips. It's only snow up to your calves. So there's that. But it is home, nevertheless.
It's a good thing Raimi's testicles are already inside of him.
I never... Well, it's not something that interests me a whole lot. I was going to say, I've never actually tried to find where the testicles of birds are. Yeah, no, but I haven't tried to find where testicles of anything are.
Like, you were not fully prepared for a discussion on avian anatomy.
Oh, do you want to talk about turtles anatomy? That one is interesting.
No, I already know about that.
All right. The only thing I'm wondering is, are the turtle of D&D the same? All right. So, within the next 15 minutes, you're back inside of the garden. Climate controlled, peaceful, calm. I mean, you've just took decisions which are going to change the entire world if it survived the next few weeks. I mean,
Yeah.
so long day.
So dinner.
Dinner, bed.
All right. You go to dinner. You eat. I mean, you can eat half price here, so you can eat twice as much food for the same amount of money. Audience, I feel like you're asking for not, a turkey leg. You're asking for a turkey.
Audience, actually, I don't think eats that much because he's kind of feeling guilty about Sachet. And the fact that also, even though he knew it was probably best, that they left without saying goodbye because he knew that she was going to be overwhelmed with stuff.
All right. Then audience only eat the stuffing of the turkey while Remy eats the turkey.
Yeah. He
And
knows
he
what
doesn't
they
feel
did
bad, and he
already.
doesn't feel bad about it at all.
Now, if it had been a pigeon, oh, cousins. All right. So, well, like you said, audience probably eats half-heartedly, just knowing that you need to eat to live. And Fisher looks at you and sort of had that moment of, ha! I can sulk without eating, with no consequence. Ah! So, that means the meal
I
is
can be depressed with no coping mechanism. Ha.
just raw, pure, unadulterated guilt. That's how Fisher likes it. Don't dull the pain. So you all eat at the table. I don't know. I feel like it's like the shawarma thing in
Yeah,
with the
at the end of the Avengers.
Avenger. You're just all there eating, some because exhaustion, other because of guilt. They're just there. After filling your bellies with what you can, you go back all to your rooms and you sleep. You probably fall like rocks. Even you, Fisher. Now that you've freed your mother, the mother of all machines, you've never dreamt about anything else than her. What are you going to dream about now? Would you like to find out?
Yeah, I think Fisher's like, he's like, man, I was way too overwhelmed. Definitely could have handled that better. So,
It seems to be a recurring theme with the Fisher. He really wanted to talk to an exile, and when the fight was over, he was too overwhelmed, didn't know what to say. He wanted to talk to his mother, and when it ended, he was too overwhelmed, didn't know what to say. Damn it! So many missed opportunities.
yep.
All right. So, you all go to bed. You all try to sleep. The night seems to go uneventfully. good relief. Fisher, nothing comes to you, but it is restful, as if a burden had been lifted for some reason. Maybe she's just busy doing something else, you know. After all, she just became a god, so.
Yeah, probably got stuff to do.
Yeah. So, in the morning, you all
Fisher's
wake
gonna
up.
have weird abandonment issues now.
So in the morning, you all wake up, and you're in a desert landscape.
Teacher vision!
The sky is covered with clouds, and you see a tentacle emerge and disappear. And I think it's probably better if we end the episode here. Might not last long, but, you know, I'm always extremely hesitant to make the episode go longer than 3 a.m. Well, 3 a.m. for me. I mean...
Yeah.
All right. So that will be it for tonight. Only 2 things remaining. Hopefully we have enough episode left. Depending on your choices for finishing audience's chapter, you know, it's possible you can do this in a single episode. But knowing you all, it's probably going to be 2 episodes. So or 3. I hope not. That's
3 would be. We only have 4 left.
Oh, you only have 4 left?
Yeah.
Oh, god damn it. Oh, I thought we had 5.
No, 4.
Damn it.
2 weeks.
Don't worry, we're gonna speed run this dragon.
Yeah.
It's gonna be some Dark Souls speed run.
That's what the Dragon Slayer short swords are for.
Run up this walk, turn around, do a backwards dodge into a roll, glitch through, land in the boss arena.
Yeah.
Mine is in some ways the simplest story to wrap up. It's
Yes.
go fight the
Kill
dragon.
a dragon.
You've done everything. The only thing that's left to do is literally walk inside your enemy's lair and figure a way through the whole thing without getting killed.
Yep. It's not. Mine's not. Mine's simple. Mine fits audience's plan to solve things. It's hit your face into it until we either win or die.
You know, this really is like the awkward part, like, you know, like at the end of the game, because, you know, Sephiroth is casting Meteor, like, you know, like off in the distance, and it's like, yeah, let's do some side quests.
Well, the interesting thing with the last element of this one is that you're the only one who can actually go inside the dream and retrieve the feather. So you can afford to finish one side quest.
We do that. We do the dream. Then we do the final boss. That's pretty much our
Yep. If you can manage to do this in 1 episode each of these step, hey, we'll be done in 3 episodes.
Yep.
You have one.
Well, then we get our epilogue episode.
Yeah. Hopefully. We might have to stay up late for the last one.
Yeah, let's roll that.
Yeah. We'll see. We'll see. Yes.
All right. I gotta go.
Yes, and I am ending the stream right now. So.
Good session. I will see you all. I'm free next Monday. I'll see you all on Monday.
All right. We'll do the next one Monday. Right.
Good night.
Good night, Sam. Campfire. Here we go. All right. So. Oh. Now all the cameras are weird. I know I don't need to adjust the cameras because we are closing, but still. I like it when people are at the right place. And Remy is not at the right place. Maybe if I just close audience's picture? Yeah, alright. We're okay, we're okay. Remy is inside of audience's place, which is something I'm sure he likes. So, thank you for stopping by. Thank you for watching. Hope you had a pleasant whatever part of the day it is wherever you are in the world. Hope you found whatever it was you were looking for. Remember, if you want to help, we got Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, Patreon, a link below for donations. Only donate if you can afford it. And spreading the word of the channel helps tremendously. So, yeah, that's it. Hope to see you again next week. Wednesday if you're watching this live, Friday if you're watching the rebroadcast, and on YouTube probably next Monday if you're watching the episode which is filmed in between episodes. And on Thursdays, map making. Maybe we should draw Audience's village tomorrow. That could be interesting. Alright, so thank you for being here. Hope to see you again next week. And as always, stay safe and stay healthy. Good night.